You know what I mean?
Yeah, focus, fly, keep growing,
Hey, what's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions in Las Vegas. Once again, we are out here with a bunch of incredible people that are doing some really big things, like for some big units.
Yeah, you know, when they talk about units out here, as we in the automotive industry, we think of cars, you know, might got some big, but here we're talking about motor homes. We're talking about RVs. We're talking about campers. We're talking about like long, where you have to get your CDL license to type stuff, right? Get that big truck with the big motor, right? We're out here at the RVDA in Las Vegas, and we're having a great time. We got here last night, went out, had some pizza, had a few drinks. I'm starting my 75 hard challenge again today. I'm doing phase 1. So last night was my last night of drinks and eating whatever I wanted to, and we're right back to where we're at. But we're really excited because today we're bringing in the cafe somebody that we've become friends with recently.
Yes.
It's another superstar in the industry trying to do some things, really reaching out and trying to be more than she was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She's another woman in automotive that is just killing the game. That really impresses me a lot with what she's trying to do and where she's trying to go. And she reaches out to us, and she's just a sponge. And I love that about her. She's educating herself while she's educating others. Oh, nothing better than that.
Mm-hmm. This is a great opportunity for us to be able to give light and have a conversation with somebody that is so important, but sometimes just does not get the same look inside of your store for the importance that they have in making sure that everything is getting where it needs to be and is what is needed when it's time to get there. So we are just pumped up. I love the logistics of what it is that I almost said her name. Well, I guess we're going to get to say her name anyway, all together. Right? So there's no beans that are spilling. And if you're watching this, you probably saw that we advertised who it is that's going to be on the show today. So not many mysteries, right?
There's not too many mysteries here. So we're not spilling too many beans. So before further ado, we're going to go ahead and do it. She's amazing. She's an industry leader doing the best that she possibly can to be the best version of herself. She is our friend, Miss Kaylee Felio.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, girl?
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we brought that loudness, but hey, we are excited to have you here. That smile is so contagious.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first thing I noticed about you the very first time I seen any of your posts is that you're always smiling in your post. And Lou and I, we believe the best thing you could wear every single day is your smile, right? It's contagious, it's infectious, it's everything that it's supposed to be, but what it's most important is it brings love to the world. So way to bring love to the world, my friend, and welcome to the cafe.
Thank you.
So what's it like over where you are right now? What time is it where you are?
I'm in Arizona, so our time didn't change, but I'm still dealing with it because everyone else's time changed.
Right. So you gotta know that the thing. And so right now, I think, what is it, noon where you're at?
It's noon.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because of the time change. But last month it would have been like, anyway, that gets confusing when you're in that doesn't change time zone area. So we can appreciate that. But I'm glad that you're here. We're so excited. You know, you're somebody that we've been talking with and talking about other things besides the podcast. We're talking about your business. We're talking about social media. We're talking about growing. We're talking about all the things that get me excited in this industry right now. And you're really getting me excited about what you're trying to do. So we're excited to team up with you. I know that we got some opportunities to team up here soon. Hopefully all that goes through. If not, we are a team anyway, because we love you and you're amazing. So thank you for being here. Welcome to the cafe. Wow. So before we do anything, this is how we break it in. This is how we get people into the club. First, you know, you want to be a solutionary. I know you do, right? In order to do so, you got to learn the secret handshake. It's very important that we learn this secret handshake. It is the 3 F's: the forgive, the focus, and the fly. And it's important to learn to forgive, focus, and fly, because that's the only way you can keep growing. It's not the only way, but it's the best and most efficient way to keep growing, because it's the way that you take all the weight of unforgiveness off your shoulders. Anything you've done wrong, your friends have done wrong, anybody's done wrong, you can let all that go so you can grow, right? And when you do that, you're able to focus on what you want, and then you can fly to everywhere you've ever wanted to go with all your heart, all your friends, with everybody else. I'm excited to do this with you. Let's get this thing going so we can get these questions rolling. First things first: forgive, focus, fly. So this is the dance move. If you haven't seen it yet, you're going to wipe your shoulders off. You're going to go like this, and then you're going to go like this. We're going to do it on a count of 3. We're going to do it together as a team, because teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep, here we go.
Here we go.
So, Kaylee, here we go on 3. And all you solutionaries, join us. If you're driving, throw that one hand on it. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing. Yeah, there we go.
Keep growing. That's what I'm talking about.
Now
we are here.
The show.
Now that you're officially a solutionary, now I can ask you the questions that we need to ask, because it's all about our 5-liner. Now, the 5-liner is designed to tell your story, pull the things out of you that we want to hear, so people can understand where you come from, get inspired by where you came from, and because you're where you're going, right? That's the most important thing. It's not about where you're from. Now, don't let your past define you. Let it help shape you, but don't let it define you. And that's so important, because we all make mistakes. We all have these things. So that's why we forgive, we focus, we fly. First question for you, Kaylee. What is your why? What drives you every single day to wake up and say, I'm going to go out and be the best version of myself?
I would have to say that I have multiple whys. Recently, I was always so focused on one why. And of course, it's my family. But I think there's the room to have multiple whys. And the reason why I get up in the morning is because I want to do good for myself. I want to, make it a difference. And of course, having my family as a support is another reason why I do what I do. But I think just having multiple whys is so important. And I think that we need to have more than one. And so, yeah.
I think that we do tie in a big basket of whys in our lives, right? There's so many things that are weaved together and that connect one to another. Right. Just like family, just like any good organization, there's a lot of whys that get teamed up together, and eventually they end up being fused together, right? Everybody ends up picking up their load together, because all of our answers to that question get fused together, and they continuously get rewelded, right? There's new straw that gets added to the basket, right? There's new things that pull us together. I love that. Absolutely love that. This is something that of course, we love to make sure that we get the behind the scenes, the nitty gritty, and the true raw bean that is each and every person that we brew with. So yeah, the heat may get turned on a little, right? And you might feel a little bit of the things that you go through in the grind to get to where it is that you are now. But there may be some people that do not know exactly what it is that your particular flow is inside of industry right now. So before I get to that next question, I want to give you a shot real quick. Give everybody your explanation of what your business is and what solutions it is that you're bringing to the industry now.
Well, what we do is we focus on giving parts managers the tools and the resources so that they can be more proactive with managing their inventories. Because we have found that there's a lot going on, especially now with not having a lot of staff. So that's really what we focus on, is just really supporting them and making them the best that they can be and leveling up with their operations. So that's what I focus
Absolutely.
on.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Well, then now that I've gave myself, it's like a off the backboard alley oop to myself, right? To come in and ask this question. So, what is it that brought you to automotive?
It's a funny story. I was working at a Subway restaurant, and the founders and owners of PartsEdge were my regular customers. So I think they saw something in me and offered me a position. And at the time, I wasn't. It took me a while, I think, to take the opportunity. But once I did, I was so happy I did, because I got to learn the day-to-day operations of really working with parts managers. And then I left and did some other things and came back to PartsEdge to do the sales and marketing, because that's kind of always what I wanted to do. I knew it was so unique and they needed help getting that message across. Because let's face it, parts managers are tough cookies. So I've really focused on learning how to talk to parts managers and sharing and how to help them. So that's how I ended up in it. I was at a Subway restaurant.
Wow.
That's awesome. I know a little bit about that history. We've talked, and and I think that's great. I think it's huge. I think people in the service industry really do a great job serving others in other industries. It's not just food that you're serving. You're helping somebody's day. You're putting a smile on their face. When you really want to do that job extremely well, especially at Subway, it's a lot of face to face. They come in, they pick out what they want on their sandwiches. There's a lot of conversation
Artists.
going on.
They are literally
They are sandwich artists, right? And they're
Yeah.
and they're providing healthy choices for their community. And what I think that is really great about that is that you find that you build great relationships inside those places. There's a lot of
Mhm.
the regulars, right? And they come
Oh,
back
yeah.
not just because of the sandwich, but because of the people in the
Mhm.
sandwich stores making those sandwiches. And
Yeah.
so that's amazing that you've been able to transfer that to this. And I think that you're going to find the things that you're learning now, you're going to translate to other things in the future too.
Mhm.
And you're growing, you're just beginning. And I know that, and I love that. It's really cool to see where you're going. You're blossoming. You found a niche that really works well for you. Super excited about that. So, great
Thank
things.
you.
And welcome to the auto
Yeah,
industry. Thank you
absolutely.
so much for
Yeah.
bringing your voice and for being bold enough. This is not as hard as you thought it would be, is it? Having a cup of coffee and a conversation with a couple of car guys, right? We're
No,
just brewing solutions. And
yeah,
the
no, this is
great
great.
Yes, there's a story behind everybody, and everybody's story gets the opportunity to get exposed at some point or another. But the biggest thing that we want to make sure that, especially in the season that we're in, where we have so many incredible women in automotive that are shaking and moving things around in the industry, we want to make sure that it's clear out there that there's nothing stopping anybody from coming into this industry, determining what it is that you want to do, what it is that you're passionate about, and helping you to pursue that. And you're a living example of those things happening right now, and that anybody can set their flag in the ground and say, this is what I'm going to begin to build around, right? I'm
Right.
going to build a following. I'm going to build a legacy with my brand, with my product, and with ultimately the foundations of relationships. And with that, I'm just honored that we get the chance to brew with you, and you get to get that Kaylee love out there, right? For what it is that so again, I feel like some people completely just push it to the corner. I've been in plenty of meetings where that's not they don't get the love that other areas get, but that's a ridiculously profitable center inside of their stores. You know what I mean? I mean, when you consider what it is that people are doing, where you're selling some an entire assembled product and then some just pieces, right? But it's ultimately you're selling the products of the automobile. And this is a key piece of everything
Well,
functioning
and
around.
then right now it's even a bigger deal. Parts are very limited right now. The parts are hard to
Real.
get. So, having a department that understands how to keep customers at bay, get the, let them know and explain the situation at a smooth way so that they still do commerce with them, and just understand it's gonna be on back order in some cases, and that they'll accelerate it whenever they can or whatnot, right? So there's so much to this and so much that she's bringing, and it's a great thing. Automotive people think of that, they think, oh, sell cars. Well, that's not all we do in automotive. We fix cars, we service cars, we put parts on cars, we upgrade cars, we have aftermarket like cool doodaddies that you could throw on a vehicle, right?
Doodaddies and whatnot.
And it's just what's neat is that there's so many opportunities in this business. I mean, even cleaning cars. I mean, it's so much that we can do in this business to be able to gain an edge, a parts edge.
I see what you did there, fella.
Now,
hold on, I gotta get it.
Gotta get it. Oh, there it is, right? So we're having fun in here, and we like to have fun, we like to make fun, and but we also like to be serious about what we do. Seriously silly in here, right? And that gets me to my next question. I think that with you, we've talked about some stuff already. We talked about your why, which is great. We talked about what got you in this business and what you're doing in this business. Who has motivated you? Who's been some of the mentors? Who's been somebody that really sticks out, has shown you the way?
Oh gosh. Well, I would have to start with my manager at Subway. Well, the owner and then my manager. So they really painted the picture of like helping me understand the working hard and just the structure of that. And so I would have to say it started with them, and then of course, my bosses at PartsEdge, Chuck and Cliff, they're great mentors, and in different areas. Chuck's more aligned with like the parts expertise, and Cliff's more of the sales, and it's just the two together have really shown me what the auto industry can do. And then recently, just following a lot of the influencers on LinkedIn that are in the auto industry are just so great. I mean, there's so many mentors out there that can help and you can follow. So, but mainly it's just been my bosses that have been my mentors. So I've been very fortunate.
You bring an open ear to them when somebody will listen and actually apply. A lot of times we can teach people things and they learn it. They're like, I learned it, but they don't apply it. Applying is probably the biggest ingredient to education. We can all learn, read, do all these things, but that, just like we all know a lot of things that we just don't do because we're too lazy sometimes, two, just feel like we know a better way, or three, we just don't care, right? So there's probably even more reasons than that, but it's true though. But it's true, and we're human beings. We have free will. We can pick and choose whatever we want to do at any moment. We don't have to do anything, but we want to, So that's the key, is applying everything that you want to apply that will apply to what you're trying to do. Like if you don't apply it or don't give it a shot, how do you know if it works or not? That's why I talk 90 days quite a bit. Mentorship is huge, and I'm glad that you found some mentorship in this industry, and that you're finding even more through social media.
Yeah, it's great. And just like trying new things and just going for it. I feel like that's something that I've always done as a young kid. Is just like I didn't care. Not that I didn't care, but I just kind of went for it and was like, well, we'll see if this works, or we'll see what happens, or you just adjust along the way. And I'd say that's one of the strong things that I have to offer, is that I just try it. I don't know exactly how to do it, but we're going to try.
I think that's the basis of anybody in the world. None of us ever knew exactly how to do it. We had to learn how to do it. We had to make mistakes. We had to try. I think that we did that a lot more as kids, more courage, to do things. And then as we become adults, I think our insecurities, our minds telling us, I just can't do it, or, whatever it is, it limits us, even though it's absolutely attainable for all of us to do whatever we want. I think that there's a lot of power in this universe for us all. And, it's just about applying once again, and I think that's great. You have a lot of people in here just throwing love at you.
So much love.
Owen Moon talking, Kaylee clapping his hands. He's a big fixed ops guy. You know the deal. What's up, Owen, man? What's up, brother? We got Charity Dunning. Oh, what's going on? There's another fixed up lady right there. She's with the competitor of Owen Moon. I love that they're both on here right now. Russell Hill, Owen Moon. You got Fixed Ops Digital, and you got Fixed Ops Marketing. And I love that, and I love both of them. They
all love you,
and we do, and they all love you, and that's why they're here. Two competitors sitting in here talking to PartsEdge person, talking about how great you are. That's
That's so
powerful.
cool.
That should show you the
may not
power that
see
you do,
why.
you know, and what you're
Awesome.
bringing into this business, and understanding that it's okay to be competitors is actually the best thing about being competitors, is that there is a competitor. I think
Best thing
without
for
one,
McDonald's was Burger King.
right,
All
wh-
day in the paint.
which, you know, but it's the opposite. The worst thing for Burger King was McDonald's. but
The
but
best on both.
but but that being said, it's good to have those things. It's good to have people that push you, but it's also good to be able to see what they're doing that's different, and maybe you can encourage yourself to do something different. But anyway,
Mhm.
enough about that, right? We appreciate you, Kaylee. We appreciate your mentorship that you're passing on to people today. People are hearing this. There's a lady that's you know, or a young man that's a year behind where you're at right now, doesn't know if they want to make that leap, right? And they
Yeah.
hear your story, and guess what? They're going to definitely make that leap. Now they're going to be excited about making that leap because they see somebody who's went from working at Subway to managing a Subway store to doing what she's doing now. Now she's the sales and marketing manager for PartsEdge, folks. Hello.
Hello.
And she is real, folks. I don't know if you know. I hope you, if you all can have a chance to sit down. And my wife says I say folks a lot, and I do. I just realized that.
He does.
So, you know, when I
It's his
you know,
favorite word, folks.
when people, folks, listen to me, folks. But no, but on the real, if you ever have a chance to sit down and have a conversation with Kaylee, you'll see what I mean. Like, she's such a sponge, and she just wants to learn, and she wants to educate, and she wants to just team up with people that can really help not just her business but herself, help her become the best version that she can be, so she can perform for her companies, so that she can be the best version at her companies. I think that's what we all want deep down, but a lot of us are too scared, but Kaylee's not. So I love that, man. I'm super excited about this.
I'm scared, but I'm just doing it anyways.
Just so you know, you're doing a
Well,
great job.
The great thing is that just like we went through on the mentorship side, is that you do have mentors, right? That
Mhm.
are going to poke you and help push you to trying new things. That's the value of a mentor. Anybody that needs one or wants to try to accomplish something, they need to be able to reach out to somebody that is producing that in their life and give them access to them to cut on them and make them become what it is that they're supposed to be. That isn't always the easiest thing for many people. Sometimes it comes at a cost, or sometimes you don't allow the people in. But it's good that you have people that you're able to let project you into that area. I'm sure that that's unlocked many doors for you, because again, your mentor is going to love you whether the new thing that you try fails or not, right? They're still going to be there for you. They're still going to back you up, especially if you're giving your whole heart out there, right? The mentor is molding you, not necessarily just the things you do. I think the things you do become a byproduct of who it is that you become.
Right.
And as those mentors are doing that, you're of course picking up many lessons. So let's ask this question: what would be the hardest lesson you've had to learn in your career up to now?
Gosh, I wish you would have sent me these questions.
Because then you'd be ready for them.
I
Nope.
know. Okay, what'd you say? What was the hardest thing I've dealt
What
with
was
in
your
the
hardest
years?
lesson you've had to learn building out your career to now?
Um, I don't even know. I I would have to say, actually, I wish that when I left PartsEdge the first time, I wish I would have went to go work at a dealership. I
Mhm.
think that's probably one of the things I struggle with, the fact that I have not worked at a dealership. I've spent years talking to parts managers and working with them, but I've never worked as a parts manager. So I think that's probably one of the things I would have to say.
I love that. That's a
I'm
great answer,
trying my
Kaylee.
best.
That's a
You know, I
great
think
answer.
that I love that, because in your heart, you're ultimately, you want to be the best that you can be. So you want to present to your clients and be able to give them different viewpoints, you know, viewpoints from being in your seat, viewpoints from being in at a dealership, viewpoints from being a customer, right? You want to be
Yeah.
able to understand all those different viewpoints. And I love that that's in your heart to think that. And that was your answer for that, because that's a great answer. I mean,
So,
really, that just tells me that you just want to keep educating. You know, sometimes we say things, you may never know what happens. You may end up being at a dealership one day, who knows? But
yeah.
I think that you can gain a lot from talking to people at dealerships, which I know you do.
Totally. Well,
you know,
and I
you
actually
learn a
pushed
lot.
my husband to become a parts manager. So I'm like, you could go do that
There
so I
you
can
go.
learn from you.
Perfect. Exactly. You know, that's how you educate, and that's how you learn, and that's how you grow. And that's great that you recognize that inside yourself. But I think that you don't have to. There's a lot of vendors out there that are never worked in a dealership. You know, Lou and I, we've worked in one, and we've done it for a long time. We've helped stores grow really fast on the front side, you know, in retail. Did a really great job at that. I believe we're one of the best out there in the country. Matter of fact, I know. Ting, ting. But at the same time, there's a lot of benefits. Like, I've never was a true vendor, so I'm learning how to sit on this side of the fence, learning this view, you know, and trying to understand the thought process behind this. But I think Lou and I, we look at it and we're like, man, you know, I think we think differently. So it's like, it works. But I think you're going to find that too. You have enough empathy inside you, enough sympathy inside you to be able to understand where they're going through, to be able to make that work.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. So yeah. So, you know, when we're talking about all these things, and we're talking about like growing from like where you started, you know, your why, what drives you. We talked about things like all the things that motivate you. We talked about what got you in this business, what you're doing in this business. We talked about the people who've helped you along the way. You know, you've had some really good bosses, from working at Subway with the owner, and all of them were amazing people who mentored you and to encourage you to be better. Then you're working with your new bosses now that are amazing. Your teammates, as I would call them, right? Leaders in your team, and they're doing a great job. But at the end of the day, you know, you had to learn a lesson, and you're finally, hey, I wish I had worked in a dealership when I had that opportunity. But that's okay. You can't change the past. We forgive, we focus, and we fly.
Yeah.
You know, but out of all those things, we've talked about all those things. The last thing I'm going to ask you, the fifth question, it's what's been your greatest reward for everything you've done so far? Of all the things that you've seen and done, and it doesn't even have to be auto related, in your life, for all the hard work that you've put together up to this point, what has been your greatest reward?
Becoming a parent. I never thought I would become, well, I didn't struggle with having kids, but I never it wasn't part of the plan to have a child, and at least as soon as I thought. And so I think that's been the biggest reward and the biggest struggle, because having a career and loving what I do also kind of takes away from being a mom. But like, you know, like kind of have the mom guilt of like, I'm happy working at home by myself without her here. But I love her, and I think that's been the biggest reward and the biggest blessing, because she came at a time of loss. So I had lost my dad in August, and I found out I was pregnant in October. So it was just this healing thing that happened, and it was a great thing. And she's taught me so much in the 2 years that I've had her. So yeah.
Well, Kaylee, I don't know if you knew this or not, but that was the magic answer. That was the answer that gets you one free Car Guy coffee mug and a bag of Car Guy coffee. We are so, I mean, you hit it on the head. No, just playing. But seriously,
No,
though,
but you did hit it on the head.
Smashed it.
But
That's
no, you know, because it's from your heart, you know, and I think
real.
that you know, you have a bright future. I think that I know that you're going to be doing some amazing things. I think that the next time we do an interview, we're going to hear about some amazing accomplishments.
Yeah,
that
it's going to be a great news meeting all day in the paint.
Yeah. So we're, you know, this has been a really, really fun show. Well, at the end of this, we got a little bit extra time here, actually, you know, so what I'd like to do is just, it's maybe hit you with do you have a story? You know, we do this thing called a car guy, car gal confession session, right? So is there a story that's funny?
You're welcome.
That's a funny related story that you can tell everybody, that maybe something that happened to you that was funny. Maybe you learned something from it. Maybe you, it's just funny, where you just like, you know, I don't know. Say, we've heard some crazy ones. Like I told my story that I told when I was interviewed by Lou, when we did our own little self interviews of each other many moons ago. Mine was whenever I did a test drive. I didn't do a test drive, excuse me. I was selling a car, and I skipped the test drive trying to get to Pencil real quick, trying to sell. And in sales,
nobody's ever done that.
You got to do test drives. Trust me, it works. And so I go in, and you know, Lou was actually the floor manager at the time. So Lou goes in to talk to him after I couldn't get him to say yes to a payment. Right now, and Lou goes in, and first thing he asked me is, "Hey, how'd the car drive?" And they were like, "We didn't drive it." So it's so funny because
Really,
I was a manager too at the time, and I used to get on people for not test driving their customers. So I knew what I was doing, but I was trying to shortcut myself. And of course, they drive it, they come back, they buy it, right? So that was my story. So what would be something that maybe you can tell?
Oh gosh. Well,
know,
it's
it's a
actually
spot.
not. I mean, it's funny, but it's not really a win because I didn't get him as a customer.
It doesn't have to be a win. I want to hear it though.
But
Let's go.
it was I was cold calling, and I actually, for the most part, I've gotten pretty good responses. I haven't gotten like thrown out of a dealership. I haven't totally been hung up on too much. But this guy, he was drilling me on, and I wasn't trying to sell him on the product. I was trying to sell the meeting. Like, just let's have a meeting. And he said I was blowing smoke out of his butt, and he hung up on me. And I sent him a letter, actually, just like, I'm sorry the call ended. Like, you want to talk to me? But it didn't work out. He didn't talk to me. He probably would have never signed up, but it was just like, I was like blown away. I'm like, I've never experienced someone like that, so abrupt I'm like, you didn't really give me a chance.
It happens, but
It
it happens to the
happen.
best of us.
It
I
happens
promise you
to the
that. But
best
it's
of
good
us.
that you got that experience in. That's a great story.
it's a good opportunity.
Wow. And I'm going to say this word one more time, folks. There it went again, folks.
Folks.
Folks, I appreciate you all for being here
Folks.
today. What an amazing show this was. Kaylee, you're an amazing person, and we're so excited to have you part of the Solutionary family. Welcome to it. Forgive, Focus, and Flying, telling us her 5-liner, letting us know what she's doing in this business. I dropped your email up here a moment ago, but I want to show it again. I want people to know how to get a hold of you. It's really important that you get a hold of her if you have any questions. You guys kind of got like a quick little version of what she does. If you give her a call, 2 things are happening. She's going to learn something from you, and you're going to learn something from her, and it's going to be worth your time. I'm going to tell you, she doesn't waste people's time. She's just there to help. I've had multiple conversations with her, and I've never had a wasted conversation. It's always been uplifting, upshifting, and ready for me to do something new. And I'm excited to team up with you, Kaylee. You're an amazing person. Thank you for being on the show today. Is there any last words you want to say before we go?
No, I'm very excited. Thank you. I'm excited for the coffee too.
Yeah, and you did. You won it.
It's coming.
But
but we have to let the whole
everybody
world know
right now
that this has been vetted. We have completed brewing this 5-liner with Kaylee, and you are now 100% CGC approved. Congratulations,
Yes.
everybody. Give
Reach
her
out
a
to her.
hand.
You guys see how to get a hold of her. Make sure you do that. What a great show this was today, and what a great guest we had. And I'm so honored that we have you as a friend, as somebody that we can sit down and talk with, and also a guest on our amazing show together. Love you, girl. Hope you had a good time. Folks, if you know how to get a hold of her, it's right down there. If you want to get a hold of us, you know how to get a hold of us. We're all over social media. You can't miss it.
So do us a favor, everybody, and tag a car guy, tag a car gal, share this all around. Make sure that everybody knows that you have been brewing solutions once again with the best. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I am Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we have been brewing solutions with Kaylee Felio. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, hold on 1 second. We're gonna once this
we'll
gets
be
on,
right back.
we'll talk to you in backstage. So don't go anywhere yet, Kaylee. All right.
Check out
you guys
all
have a
other
good one.
episodes.
Yeah.
CarGuyCoffee.com. Get you some.
Go get you some of that real quick because it's delicious.
701 booth 701 at RVDA. It's going down.
It's going down. Hey, if you want to
Pay
get a hold of
attention.
us, 321 Fred
Lou.
That's our phone number. Reach out to us. Seriously, 321
Fred Lou. That's
That is
how
our
you
phone
get a
number now.
hold of these dudes.
That's right.
No, we're working on
We're working
that
on it.
thing.
We haven't got
We're
it right
working
yet,
on
but we're
You
getting
let
it.
us know.
You
You guys
be
come
good.
up with something, send it to us.
Send it to us. We love y'all. Car Guy Coffee. Let's brew.